Hey, good to have you coming down the road with us. We're going to touch on a lot of Class B basketball today. We're going to touch on a lot of things that are happening in the Magic City and how that Class B found its way to the Magic City. But we're going to start off with a man named Troy Coons. Now, who's Troy? Well, he's with the Northwest Landowners Association. He's David. The state of North Dakota is Goliath. And he took us on with the Northwest Landowners, and quite frankly, the rock hit right between the eyes last time, and we're going to talk to him about that. Troy, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thank you, Joel, for having us on.
What I compared that to is really a lawsuit that you entered into with the Northwest Landowners against the state of North Dakota. Can you explain to people what was going on? What was the takings that you had to end up in a debate over?
Last legislative session in 2019, there was a bill called SB 2344, which we felt was unconstitutional in that the state was taking our right to sue for trespass or tort, which is basically your principal rights as a landowner to say no to somebody coming on your land. And so they did that. They changed the definition of land for energy development, and so we felt they were bald-faced taking.
Okay, Troy, there you go. I got you back. Go ahead. You cut away when we said bald-faced taking, so take her from there.
Bald-faced takings, and so we tried to work with everybody, tried to educate everybody. We were not successful. The only other remedy was to take it to district court in North Dakota, which we did. We were fortunate to win the lawsuit to dismiss that law. And with that, the statement from the judge was very strong in support of our position. So it felt like a very strong win.
Okay, but I get that. I mean, you kick butt, for lack of a better way of putting it, in that lawsuit. But what were they trying to take from you?
They were trying to take from us the pore space, which is from the surface of the earth down, all of the voids between your granulars of dirt and sand and such, and they wanted to use that for energy production, be able to store natural gas, waste, CO2, whatever they wanted to put in there, and then we would have no right or say on what was happening on our own property.
So this wasn't about mineral rights. I want to make sure people are clear about that. This wasn't about mineral rights. It was basically using your land as a reservoir, is probably the way I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That would be a right as a storage place, and they were wanting to do that without compensation to the property owner.
And who drove that? Who was the force behind that action that happened last legislative session that you ended up going to court over? Who was driving that bus?
It would be between the Governor and Industrial Commission, the Petroleum Council, were the big factors behind that, Continental Oil.
And I just want to make sure that the viewers here understand that you've got a bunch of landowners in Northwest North Dakota that are taking on Big Oil, because that's what this was about. It was about Big Oil pushing the North Dakota Petroleum Council, which is their voice when it comes to Bismarck, and their lobby, which is incredibly powerful, and pushing them to push through legislation that the Industrial Commission agreed with. Now, don't forget, the Industrial Commission is the governor of the state of North Dakota. It's the Attorney General of the state of North Dakota, and it is the Ag Commissioner for the state of North Dakota, the three most powerful people in the executive branch of government in North Dakota. So they took on state government, they took on oil industry, and they took on their spokesperson, and they won. Now, Troy, you're in their crosshairs again, and it sure seems to me like those same legislators that helped out oil before and, quite frankly, get a lot of the benefits for supporting oil, those same legislators are going after you again. Why don't you explain that to folks?
Yes, this session, there's a bill, SB 2065, that come on the Senate side. It was brought forward by the Industrial Commission, the full Energy and Natural Resource Committee on the Senate side were the ones who carried it forward. It's dealing with the exact same issues, but it's got a different coat on it. It has a different look. They're using a different tactic to work on this. So right now, it passed the Senate side. Been a lot of amendments to this bill, many, many, many amendments. We are working directly with the House Energy and Natural Resources Subcommittee right now to inform and educate them on our stance.
So because I'm a big believer in when you're taking on that giant, you need to know who you're taking on. The people that are watching this show right now need to know if it's their legislator, if they need to call their legislator and stick up for the landowners so there isn't a takings here. So who's driving this time? Who's pushing for this bill? Who's sponsoring it? Who's asked for it?
The sponsors would be the Energy and Natural Resources Committee on the Senate side. We're the ones that carried it forward for the Industrial Commission.
On behalf of who?
The Industrial Commission, which would be the governor, the ag commissioner, and the attorney general.
Exactly. So you're up against the same individuals again. Now, don't forget this. The Oil and Gas Division, ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Helms heads up the Oil and the Gas Division, and he works for the Industrial Commission, and he's the one that is pushing this. And you can find legislators that are driving this. I'm just going to mention one. And then it's your job to go to the Secretary of State and see how much he benefits from the oil industry. Take a look at Todd Porter. Todd Porter, representative from Mandan, and someone who is going around and you know, Troy, I don't know if you know this, but I know that many people are pointing out that Todd Porter isn't all that happy with what you did last time. And he isn't all that happy with what the Northwest landowners were able to achieve. Have you been hearing some of that as you walk through the Capitol? I know that as we talk to you right now, that's where you're at.
Yes. Yes, there is a percentage of the folks here that are very unhappy with us, and there's the other percentage of the folks that are saying congratulations. It was nice to see that, you know, your rights were upheld.
So I compared you to David. You know, a lot of people are going to look at the Northwest landowners and they're going to think, okay, those guys are doing well during this whole, you know, oil boom that North Dakota had. Explain to people the difference between land ownership and mineral rights ownership.
In the state of North Dakota, you can own the surface of the land, and that would include pore space, and you can own the minerals, or they can be a severed estate where the minerals are separate from the surface owner. So this mineral owner is going to receive the compensation for the natural gas, the crude oil. The surface owner will get compensated for damages to his surface, say the alfalfa that gets damaged. You'll get compensated for that loss. Outside of that, generally, it's just a disturbance to their business and their life.
Yeah, and I think, you know, for everyone listening, and there are a lot of farmers listening, a lot of landowners listening, you know, I would say that this is a takings. That if you're in support of landowner rights, if you're someone who says, you know what, you shouldn't be able to access my land and do just whatever you want with it. You shouldn't be able to sit there and, I mean, someone may have the mineral rights to it, but they sure don't have the rights to all of that ground. And you're going to sit there, many people are going to say, well, this is beneath the ground. Well, okay. How far beneath do you go when you chisel dig? How far beneath do you go when you plant? How far when you tile, when you drain? I mean, beneath that land is still the owner's land. And I think that's something I hope people keep in mind. So here you do. You find yourself back in Bismarck, and are you going to be in a position, Troy, where you're going to find yourself back in a courtroom again, or are you going to be able to get this bill killed?
That's been a roller coaster of a ride. You know, the last couple months have been just high highs and low lows. 3 days ago, I thought we were going back to court. We've been given the opportunity now to give more education to the subcommittee, which we're thankful for. Are there unconstitutional things here? Yes, we feel there are. You know, can we get them worked out? We're trying very hard to be negotiative and work with everybody here, but we do have some hard stops on things that we just can't allow to happen, which would be the takings. You know, we have to be compensated and respected for what our property is. If you look back to statehood and you look back to 1877 and you look to the sky and to the core of the earth, all of that was yours. In this state, we do have where we can separate the minerals, and there is federal law for planes to fly over, but all other things go with your surface right. And so that's what we're protecting here, our right to say no to entry and for the use, and to get compensated is the key thing, to be compensated.
Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Troy, but it's my understanding that this legislation takes away your right to take on North Dakota in a lawsuit again. Has that been amended out, or are they still trying to make it so that you legally can't even sue again?
So what we're trying to do there is they're trying to put together a new section of code and a structure through administrative rule that we would have to go through, where all of the guidelines would be handled there, compensation and everything. You could sue after that, but the Industrial Commission is the only commission compared to PSC or any others that gets deference when you go to court, and you can only argue over facts. So it would be an uneven playing field. What we're asking for is the Industrial Commission does what they do, and we are in disagreement with that we can go to district court and be judged by our peers and them decide what's fair. That's all we're asking for, is a direct route to, you know, our peers.
Just so people know that the Northwest Landowners aren't some deep-pocketed group, tell people how you're funded. How many people are in the Northwest Landowners?
We have a little over 500 members. The members pay $100 dues. Our board is all volunteer, as am I. We're unpaid lobbyists. We're here because we are guys wearing boots and calloused hands. We're a volunteer group trying to stand up for the principles of what we built this feel the state's built on.
Now it's your turn to stand up for them. That's why we did this piece, to make sure that you, the viewer, knew exactly what was happening to those landowners. I know many of you are watching right now on Beck News. Troy, if we can help out another day, you call us. I want to make sure word keeps getting out about this.
Could I mention one other thing?
Sure.
Please go to ndlandrights.com. That's our webpage, and you can learn more about this.
ndlandrights.com.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Troy. When we come back, Alderman Tom Ross, he's from the Minot City Council, and they've got a big weekend going on. That's right, the state Class B is in Why Not Minot. Let's talk to Tom about it right after this.
Howdy folks, it's a Kindred Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our hay bussin' breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Kindred burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spoon rattling pie with a combo roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing, because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-314-7809.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark.
Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close.
Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling atomic beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-6755.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-698-2970.
You know, you're watching down the road on Beck News. You know, if you're watching Beck News, then you understand where Beck Television is. I've known for quite some time, and one of the reasons I've known is, quite frankly, because I love what they do when it comes to high school athletics. The passion and the ability that they have to bring that right into your living room is fantastic. And so I hope you keep that in mind. As the state Class B plays out, I hope you understand, you know, and I'm not part of that. I just work with the network on this show. But I can tell you this, the dedication that part of the team at Beck has to making sure you get to see high school athletics, I hope you keep that in mind as you watch the state Class B this weekend, because they were there all season long during a COVID season. And so I'm kind of proud to be associated with an outfit like that. I'm going to bring in Alderman Tom Ross now. Tom is on the Minot City Council, which tells me that he's got one of the toughest jobs you can when you put your name on a ballot. I never can figure out why somebody runs for a city council. So let's bring him in. Tom, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Hey, thanks for inviting me along, Joel.
I got to start here. I do. You know, the Class A, and your boy was in the Class A, the passions that come with basketball. You know, you may have come up with just a little bit short in that tournament, but man, the fun and just the whole year had to be just a fun ride.
It was up and down, Joel, and I'll tell you that you know, our kids were picked to take 6th in the region. They blew out the region. WDA was tough this year, but really the thing that really is kind of sticking with me is having local sports back, number one, having the crowds there, number two. And I tell you, Joel, it gives me goosebumps to even talk about it, but the Minot High, having the kids back, having the fans back, and having the players experience the fan section, the kids, the student section. It was outrageous. And seeing that at the state Class A tournament down in Bismarck was, oh man, I'm just speechless. I'm just still excited about it.
It's just good to hear your voice describe that, because the kids are going to remember that. I mean, they're going to remember that. People, you know, there's no disconnect between that student cheer section and the students themselves. I saw it in the state hockey tournament. I saw those kids go up and hang out with all that student section. And, you know, these are classmates, these are friends, and they belong at that game. And so, you know, and then to be able to have more of your family members there, that had to be a blast too.
You know, these kids, the Minot High kids, and it's just like every other team. I'm a little biased towards the Magi for obvious reasons, but these kids left it on the court every single game. And you know, these kids, not to get long, but I told my son after the game, you're trying to console him after, you know, just coming up short in the championship game. I said, you guys exceeded all your expectations, everyone's expectations. And he said, no, Dad, you saying that means you didn't believe we could win the championship. And it was like, oh, wow. Yeah, no, we believed you could do it, you know, but just watching these kids grow, play together was unlike anything I've ever seen.
You know, I've got to, this isn't the reason I asked you to come down the road with us. I want to brag up Minot. But you know, I've got to go here after that. The lessons of high school athletics and how that transcends it, and it goes into, you know, when your boy becomes that independent man, raising a family himself. I mean, just look at what he learned, Tom. I mean, just look at that.
And it's true. You know, I was fortunate enough, Joel, to where when Mount High played basketball when I was young, when I was in the 4th and 5th grade, it was a Friday night tradition for me and my buddies to walk down, literally walk straight down the hill from where I lived into the Monet Auditorium and watch guys like Brad Johnson and Henry Milkey and John Rice, all these guys play basketball. I wanted to be a magician. I wanted to grow up to be a magician. And the impact that these kids have, that they have on the court, I mean, think about it. I'm still talking about my 4th and 5th grade experiences with the Minot Magi. These kids are going to have an impact on so many people in this community for years to come.
You know, when you say Henry Milkey, everybody's ears perk up. I mean, everybody remembers that. And, you know, any man that's willing to put his name on the ballot and in one agenda item have to deal with millions of dollars of a water treatment plant, and the other item have to worry about somebody's neighbor's dog biting or barking. You know what, Tom? You got my respect there as well. To get a tournament like this to your city, I mean, to get there. What does that mean to Minot? You know, in a year like this, to see all those people in hotels and bars and restaurants.
You know, I just talked with somebody, a representative of a hotel, and man, they're just giddy. You know, they're just, and really, Joel, everything is kind of coming together at the Class B tournament time. You know, and things are starting to open up. Businesses that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars during COVID. From being shut down or having limited participation in their businesses, they're starting to open up. And you know, Minot loves Class B basketball. Minot, I've been involved with it, Joel. I used to be on the television broadcast with it back in the KFYR days years ago. And to go from being a camera operator under the basket to being one of the people who I just love screaming at businesses saying, hey, let's welcome these people. And we are. They're opening them up. Businesses are just, I mean, they're just excited for these people. They're excited to get life back to normal, and they're excited to see it. The Minot State University Dome with their recent renovations is an absolute gorgeous place to shine the spotlight on these Class B players.
And it was beautiful before that. In my personal opinion, it served this state so well. I had John Cole on my radio show today, and you know, I left wanting to just run through the door. I mean, I'm sitting there with all the energy he brings, and I asked, and for those of you that are saying who's John Cole, well, you should look it up and find out, because this man, they named the new gym in Williston after him. So think of how proud that community is of John Cole. But I asked him how you can do that as a cameraman. You know what this is all about. To sit there after a team is lost and put that microphone at all 5'5" of you into that 6'5" kid that just had his heart broken and say, you know what, you did great, tell me about it. I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
It is. And you know, when you talk Class B basketball in the state of North Dakota, John Cole is synonymous with it. I was very fortunate enough to work with John at so many Class B tournaments. And, you know, and there were tournaments when John walked up to these kids and he put the mic in the face and John had tears rolling down his eyes. That tells you something about the character of that individual.
Yeah, it sure does. In the case of COVID, I mean, we've got to go there. Have you had your shots yet?
You know, I haven't, and I'll tell you, the reason I haven't gotten it, I wanted to get through the basketball season.
Oh, okay.
I had COVID earlier, so I'm kind of on that, you know, antibody kind of get out of jail free type of thing. I just didn't want to have a reaction or feel down and feel a little ill during the basketball tournament. So I imagine sometime here soon I'll be signing up for it.
I've had COVID too, and I was exactly where you're at, which is, you know, should I take the shot right away in front of other people because the antibodies are there? I've had that proven. So, all right. So in terms of just how the world is opening up again, I got to tell you, I feel the same way you do. In the last 30 seconds I have here with you, I look at this as though we're winning you know, we're winning. So many people in North Dakota have been vaccinated that you can have a tournament like this in Minot. You can bring all that energy. And like you said, it feels great. You must see it around town as a city councilman. You must see these businesses, you know, that have that shingle hung out. You must see them in a pretty good place.
They are, and you know, and it's not even in Minot, it's across the state. You know, being in Bismarck last weekend, businesses are just eager to welcome. And you know, it's really done something to the customer service. They, you know, they truly, you walk into the doors and they want to hug you, you know, and so everybody across the board, they're excited, and they see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Tom, you hug that boy for all of us, okay?
I will.
Tell him thanks for what he let us watch and let us see. So I appreciate it and all that hard work. When we come back, Dave Carlsrud. Dave is, well, long time with the North Dakota High School activities, long time official, and a man that gave me my start and the reason that I made it all the way to Division I as a referee. So let's visit with him right after this.
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed, soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@becktel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
So there's a lot of titles that I can use to describe our next guest as we go down the road here. First time I ever really got to know him was as a freshman or sophomore in high school when he came and he sold a whole bunch of shoes to the high school. And that was what you wore when you were playing high school basketball. Then I got to know him as my boss. And, of course, I saw him somewhere in between there as one of the best high school officials at all levels that you could possibly have. And I mean that with all the respect I possibly can give. And then I wanted to do that. I mean, I wanted, after I was done with, I played a little ball, albeit little in college before I blew my appendix out, and then I played some independent ball, but I wanted to be around athletics. And so I wanted to officiate. And one of the first people I called was Dave Carlsrud, now the mayor of Valley City, I might add, and a longtime employee of North Dakota High School Activities and since retired. Dave, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Well, thanks, Joel. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, or I should say invest time with you, because I'm always feeling better after we visit.
Well, I run through that whole litany because I have to include the boss part. I mean, the first person I called when I said I want to referee some ball was you, and you encouraged me to go ahead and do it. And I knew I never belonged on a basketball court, but I sure loved reffing football, and I thank you for that, Dave.
Do you remember our trip to UND?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
When I made the North Central Conference, Dave was one of the ones that recommended me to the North Central Conference. And so we went up to the University of North Dakota, and I ended up making that crew, that referee crew, and did a lot of years reffing Bison UND games. And, big weekend there too, David. Big weekend there.
Yes, it is. And we were tied up this week. Some friends offered us tickets, and so couldn't make it this time. But that it should be a great game. I think the in watching the two teams a little bit, I think it's going to be a contested game.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to it all. Having worked with North Dakota High School Activities, you have all these different. I know the dedication. It doesn't matter if it's girls Class B or A's Class A or the state golf tournament. I know you guys work so hard at it, but the Class B, and maybe it's because I'm from a Class B town, but there's something special about the Class B, and there has to be at least a little more pressure on the staff back when you were working there on the state Class B.
Well, there are so many more Class B schools, and so you have more contacts necessary, and that goes on throughout the year until it narrows to the 8 teams in the tournament, and by the time it gets there, then it's less work for us. But as we mentioned earlier when we were visiting, those local tournament managers are the ones who really organize and do the legwork, and we kind of show up, and people think we did it, but we didn't. It was your Todd Olsons and your Terry Jomsteds and people like them.
Well, I had Tom Ross on, and I know you know Tom. He's on the Minot City Council, and his boy was in that tough loss, in the state Class A. And Tom having a camera in front of his face for a lot of those basketball games, all those little pieces, Dave, that it takes to bring that it takes to make that work. There is another piece that without it, it's just a scrimmage. Describe that to people.
Oh, well, yeah, you and I have been talking about a little bit about fans, but the kids are, that's why we do it. That's why we do it. And you have your tournament managers putting all this together and so forth. And then you and I talked about officials prior to that. And one of my own buddies used to say, well, without officials, it's just a scrimmage.
Having been in charge of officials through the years, I want to be crystal clear about my relationship with Dave. He might have recommended me and he might have been a mentor, but the truth of the matter is if I goofed up, he was going to tell me you goofed up, and he'd find a way to help you get better for the next contest. But when you watch something as big as these state tournaments, and now that you're retired out of it, do you still watch officiating? Because when I watch a football game, I still catch myself watching the officials sometimes more than the game.
Yeah, when you become addicted to officiating, it just ruins you as a fan, because it makes it really hard to watch just the ball game. If the football game and the flag goes, I look to see where the official was standing, or likewise in basketball, to see if the person had a good angle to exercise good judgment, and Yeah, you said relation, and you and I can both look back, and other officials too. You think about a game, you remember a game, you might remember a couple of plays throughout all the years you officiated, but when you get all done, it's the relationships with the other people who officiate and the people you meet in schools and other towns, and it's just a very, very rewarding thing to do in one's life.
When me and my some of my reffing buddies that I worked high school and college with get together in Fargo and we go out for a burger and have lunch together, it's exactly what you just said. It's never about this playing a game or that playing a game. It's about the trip there, or the trip home, or the prank you pulled on somebody, or there's a lot of fellowship to it. And if for no other reason than the conversation we're having, if you're a young person watching, we need referees, Dave. We're always short referees.
Absolutely, and it's very rewarding. It's like playing and coaching. You have those three groups within a contest that make it go, and you need young officials and you need young coaches, and there's so much undue scrutiny in our world today. They want junior high coaches and junior high officials to work with instant replay. I think it's that mentality, and we just have to. There's a lot of subjectivity, and so there just needs to be some freedom and slack cut to these young coaches and young officials, so they have an opportunity to develop before they get tired of being there.
I know I've only got a little time left, and it goes fast whenever I get a chance to visit with you. But when you think of the state Class B, what's the first thing you think about?
Really, the radio row. So they're at Minot today, and that whole side opposite the team benches was radio, and then when television came, then television took a spot in the middle. And not only that, but up in the crow's nest, there were radio announcers up there, and the old, well, gosh, you aren't old, but I am now, and I remember those guys who were older, and in another interview we did, I mentioned some names, but I can't go there anymore because I missed too many people.
You always miss one or two. And I will tell you this, my knees would argue with you about whether I'm old after I had both of them cut out and new knees put in. You get rolled in a football game, when you got hit. Dave, this was fun. Let's do it some more another day, okay?
Oh, thank you for all you do, and I appreciate the coverage and the promotion that you do for high school activities, and the promotions that you do with your play-by-play guys. That's such a good mentorship that you are providing for, through Jack and others there, and it's just heartwarming. Yeah. So thanks for all you folks are doing.
You bet. And Jason is his team here at Beck. I mean, they're so dedicated to high school athletics. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for coming on with us.
Yep.
When we come back, we're going to head to Minot. That's right. The head coach of the Kindred Vikings, Brad Wohl, joins us right after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow, and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-716-5189. 1-800-716-5189.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
Well, I told you we were going to head to Minot. The state Class B is going on in the Magic City. And we're going to talk, well, it's my region, Region 1, down in my neck of the woods in the southeast corner of the state. Brad Wohl is the head coach of the Kindred Vikings. Let's bring him in. Brad, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thanks for having me, Joel.
So describe to people what that like. When you win our region tournament, you're finding you're going to go to the big show. Explain to people what goes on in that locker room afterwards.
Well, we had a celebration, that's for sure. All the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into the season finally paid off. I was very, very proud of the boys of how they weathered adversity this year. We've had some injuries, and Region 1 is always a dogfight. Okay, you just never know. It doesn't matter what seed you are on any given night, you can get beat. Yep, that's the truth. And you had a tough road to go through. I mean, there were some good teams again down in Region 1. I'm going to make a joke out of this. I'm not serious, folks. But would this be a good time to go rob a house in Kindred? Is the whole town emptied out and finding their way to Minot? Well, I think tonight is going to be a pretty good crowd for the Kindred Vikings. A lot of support. I've had a lot of compliments about how they really enjoy our team and watching them play. So I'm looking forward to a good crowd from Kindred tonight. So your experience with the Class B, because that's what we've been talking a lot about today, is the state Class B and what this means to North Dakota. When you think of the state Class B, obviously your coach, maybe a different perspective, but Brad, what do you think about? Well, I think it's the most publicized, most watched sporting event in the state of North Dakota. They treat these kids as celebrities, and they're very supportive of Class B basketball across the state. I don't think that's going to be any different this weekend. Yeah, I think you're right. There's names that are going to be made this weekend that people are going to know forever. I mean, forever. And you and I both have lived through that, where years from now, you're going to be sitting there, and the only thing you're going to be arguing, not about whether or not they're a good basketball player, but you're going to be arguing about what year it is. Fair? Exactly. I think I really started getting into the state Class B probably 7, 8 years old, kind of when Linton was good in the mid 80s. Hillsborough was always good.
Yeah, we still talk about those things. And we got the years wrong a lot of times because we were talking about the 3-point shot and when did the 3-point shot come in. No, this kid played for Hillsborough. This kid played for Linton. So we still know the names, but we kind of mix up the years a little bit as time goes so fast.
Yep. Thank God for Hoopster magazine, so somebody can settle it. When all after all the $5 bills are put on the table, the arguing's over. Want to talk a little bit about this year's team? What do you see? What do you look at when you look at this year's team? You got a shot at this thing?
We really truly feel we do. I think we got size, we got depth, we got length. I think our length is very deceiving and has given teams some fits over the course of the year. I believe we got guys that can guard multiple positions. We've been executing a lot better in the half court, and we're only giving up around 41 points per game. So we've kind of really emphasized defense throughout the entire year, as we kind of felt as a team that it kind of not went by the wayside, but we're not as good last year defensively. So we made it a point of emphasis, and it's really paid off.
It shows. Brad, you got work to do. I pulled you away from it. Thanks for giving us time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Joel.
I'll be cheering for you. Region 1, all the way. How's that?
Very good. Thanks.
You bet. Say hi to Tom Milbrand for me. Okay. So, folks, that's Class B. You got a coach. He's busy. He's willing to give you some time. And he's going to have them guys ready to play. Nobody knows how you're going to do. That's the sweet part. You don't know how you're going to do because of the plain and simple fact that anybody can win the Class B. That's the beauty of it. Sure, there's some teams that are favorites. I get it. I understand it. When Mayville played that year, everybody was above 6'5". So they went in the favorite and they won the doggone thing, but nobody saw Epping going to the state championship. Stephanie Shoenrock is one of the big promoters of Minot. She's the director of Visit Minot, and of course this tournament's going on in Minot. Stephanie, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right, you pulled it off. You got the tournament. Is the town ready to break out?
It is. You know what? We were just up at the Dome this morning, putting up some signage. We've created a special link just for all the Class B fans. All the businesses in town are saying welcome, and so we've had a bunch of signage up there, and the vibe and the energy is unbeatable.
Yeah. People always talk about where the state Class B should be. You know, Minot thinks it always should be in Minot. Bismarck thinks it always should be in Bismarck. As a Class B fan, I can tell you this, it should never be in the East, and that's where I live. It shouldn't be in Fargo, and it shouldn't be in Grand Forks. It's a long way from beach to there, and the fans follow. And so this post-COVID, and we are getting to be post-COVID, are people comfortable going out to eat, going to the bars, going shopping in Minot? What's it looking like, Stephanie?
You know what? We are definitely seeing a shift in behaviors, and we're monitoring it pretty closely for really obvious reasons. And we are seeing people being a whole lot more comfortable. In a nutshell, as a general statement, there's certainly those that, for health reasons or personal preference or whatever, that are still uncomfortable. And so their behaviors is reflecting that, and it certainly can. In general, we are definitely seeing more people going out to restaurants. We are seeing shopping busier. People are still wearing masks and still being careful and keeping their distance. But to answer your question, we are seeing a shift in behavior, yes.
Yeah, you can feel it. There's a vibe out there. There's so many people.
Certainly.
I mean, think of how many people, Stephanie, in your life you know that have been vaccinated already.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, there's a lot. And,
absolutely.
And that matters. It matters a lot. All right. I'm not going to let you go without getting a chance to talk about the Magic City itself and let you promote the Magic City. If you're sitting there and you're saying, all right, I got, in my case, I've got 6 grandkids. Why would I want to take them to Minot? You answer that for me.
All right, I will do it. Well, thanks for the opportunity to do that. You know what? If I had 6 grandkids, Minot would definitely be on my list to visit. My favorite place to go in town with kids, of course, is our zoo. Yeah. You know, arguably, it is a favorite in the state. We have got giraffes. I don't know if you've been here since in the last year. A year ago, one of 5 zoos in the entire country. We've got a catwalk where you can literally walk underneath a catwalk where the lions are like, can walk over the top of you. They can also pee on you if you're not careful. So just as a heads up. But you know what? That is an absolute highlight for us. Of course, our Scandinavian Heritage Park. We get people, I don't know if you heard about this or not, but last year, during a COVID year, in July and August, we had people in our Scandinavian Heritage Park from 46 states.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It is a great place to come and see. We've got a great air museum. And of course, I don't know, I'm sure you've heard about our Magic City Discovery Center, the museum that is, yes. So that's not built yet. They're looking to break ground here in a couple months. That is going to be another phenomenal asset. And then, of course, we've got all these events, North Dakota State Fair, North Coast Fest, and all kinds of events filling up our calendar as well.
Well, I broadcast every year from the State Fair and from the North Coast Fest. And I got to tell you, if I took my grandkids up to the State Fair, I don't care if I came home with a couple bucks less, and I'd take them to the zoo as well. Played a lot of state softball tournaments in Minot. Played a lot of them and had a great time at all of them. And just, I love this city. I really do. So, Stephanie, thanks for all the hard work. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
You bet. Why not? Why not? When we come back, some closing thoughts on the state Class B and the type of weekend that everybody can have, because Stephanie's right. It feels like we're about to all break out. There's a good vibe about it. So stick around. We'll close out our trip down the road.
Thank you.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree dental card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree dental card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree dental card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree dental card, you save $525. The Carefree dental card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-6179 to receive your Carefree Dental Card Information Kit. 1-800-416-6179. Call now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-4816.
Who do you trust with your digital life? Not all cloud backup providers keep your data truly private. Beck Cloud Backup uses advanced multi-layer encryption to keep your family photos, videos, and sensitive business documents secure and only for your eyes. Your Beck Lightband Internet service already includes 50 gigs of free storage to keep your digital life safe and secure. Call us at 701-475-2361 to start using your Beck Cloud Backup today.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
You know, here's the thing. I work out of Fargo on a daily basis. And so let's say you go out for a burger or a beer or whatever, and the next thing you know, if you meet somebody new, you're going to play the game, right? Well, do you know? Do you know this person? Are you related to that person? And there's always, we think Kevin Bacon, well, heck, in North Dakota, you get there quicker than what you do in terms of the degrees of Kevin Bacon. So that's what the state Class B is about. That's what it's about. People go back in time. They look at tournaments and they look at teams that they think of. But even people in the largest cities in North Dakota have rural roots. They might have even been raised in Fargo. But in many cases, their dad, their grandpa, whatever, they have rural roots. And so that connects them to a city, you know, or town or village, you know. Describe it any way you want, but you have a connection to it. You do. You always do. Let me give you an example. My sister, or sisters, one in Bismarck, one in Fargo, both won the state Class B basketball championship in 1974. And that they always have. They will always have the fact that Hankinson, North Dakota has state champion basketball players. But you know what? They don't live in Hankinson. But they're always going to be connected to Hankinson. They are. They're always going to remember that they were from Manador, North Dakota, and they played high school basketball for Hankinson, and they were state champions. So when the state Class B rolls around, what do you think they're thinking about? Right? They're thinking about that tournament. They're thinking about the time that they were in Minot, and they won the state tournament, and how proud we all are of them, because that's what happens in this tournament. I also want to point out they were in that tournament in Minot in the mid-'70s that there was a streaker. I'm not kidding you. There was a streaker in the state championship game. So, you know, just do the Google on that. You're going to find out I'm not lying. But things are going to be happening in Minot this weekend that are going to bring memories that people are never, ever going to forget. And I have to tell you, as you heard Tom Ross earlier talk about, you know, what happened with his son. You know, his grandma got to watch those games earlier in the year because of Beck TV. And so it's good to have you here with us on Beck TV. Good riding with you, folks. We'll see you on Monday.